Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel and thanks for logging on. Today we're discussing the Audemars Piguet Jules Audemars Perpetual Calendar 30th Anniversary, reference 26000PT. You can see this automatic winding perpetual calendar in platinum on our website. Purchase it there. And if you enjoy these videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can also click on the card in the upper right hand corner of the screen at any time during this video for our full listing showing this watch in additional high resolution images with all accessories and of course complete pricing details. Now on my wrist, 6 1/3 inches, 16 centimeters in circumference, this watch is a deliberate tribute to the 1978 Audemars Piguet Perpetual Calendar Automatic. Now that was the reference 25548, considerably smaller than this watch's 41 millimeter round case span. So that's 41 millimeters from 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock, not including the crown. In terms of thickness, this is an ultra thin considering the modular automatic winding perpetual calendar. It's delightfully slim at only 9 millimeters thick in spite of the complexity, and you can see how the stepped and domed bezel easily allows a dress cuff or a tight sleeve to slide up and over this beautiful watch. Now from lug to lug, the watch has imposing but not overwhelming stance. This one's 47 millimeters from lug to lug. You do feel the heft of the platinum, and that's part of the satisfaction of ownership. It feels like a substantial watch in spite of its svelte proportions. Now the strap on this one is superb. It's a dark navy blue with a monotone stitch, rectangular scale alligator leather. It does have semi-conforming spring bars so that they do trace the curve of the case flank. They do close the gap, creating a more integrated look than you'd otherwise get. But because they're not pinned against the case flank, there is a little bit of daylight. You can pull the strap straight down around the tighter curve of a smaller wrist. Moreover, the watch is matched with a wonderfully substantial single fold deployant clasp, also in platinum. This one opens up showing the high polished AP logo inside and out. It's a nice counterweight on the bottom of the strap so that the watch doesn't have a tendency to want to hula hoop or capsize on the wrist. The heavy watch head in platinum is nicely counterweighted. Now the dial is spectacular. It features a sunburst pattern with inset counter registers, each one having an opposite number vertically and horizontally, so that the watch is beautifully balanced with polished chapter rings, all white gold indices, and white gold leaf hands at center. It's a beautiful composition, very much in the image of the 1978 predecessor, but again, just executed to a larger modern size. Incredibly handsome. It has a radiant quality. Even in the soft light of my light box, take it out in direct sunlight and it absolutely explodes. You have your moon phase, needing correction only once every 122 years. What you actually see is a deposit on top of a sapphire disc. That's how AP makes its moon phase. And of course you have the day, date, month, and leap year cycle information. And this is important because in the 1950s, Audemars Piguet was the first manufacturer to place a leap year cycle indicator on a perpetual calendar. So while this is universal today, it is a distinctive part of AP's engineering heritage. Now when you turn the watch over, it's just as spectacular. This 1 of 90 limited edition, individually numbered, features AP's famous 2120/4 movement, actually based on a JLC Aboche, an ultra-thin caliber designed exclusively for AP, Vacheron, and Patek Philippe in 1968. Now here it's doing business as the 2120/4 with a 2802 perpetual calendar module built by Audemars Piguet. It should also be noted that although this is a design that was inherited from JLC and expressly commissioned, it is built in-house entirely by Audemars Piguet, which owns the machinery to build it. You'll note the winding rotor is both hand skeletonized and engraved, and you can see the Audemars Piguet A and P skeletonized into the rotor itself amid the engraved portions. Now it's a 38 jewel movement, beautifully rendered. It actually features a full annular winding mechanism such that there's a ring that's circumferential, and it's actually in the same plane as the bridges themselves. There are 4 ruby rollers that serve as a platform. Although you can see there is a winding rotor and mass, the winding system is actually circumferential. That rail underneath my thumb is the other part of the rotor system, and it sits on a cradle of 4 roller jewels so that the winding mass itself can be in the same plane as the rest of the mechanisms, the rest of the bridges. That's how this watch achieves its incredibly slim profile. It also has a distinctive beat rate, 19,800 vibrations per hour. It's a charming intermediate rate, and it's paired with a Gyromax-style free-sprung balance for superior resistance to shock-induced timing variation. This is a watch that's equal measures technologically sophisticated and aesthetically outstanding. The finish on the case is superb, as you can see satin on the flanks as well as satin on the flanks of the lugs with a high polish about the bezel. It's almost like a silver halo around that sunburst blue dial. You can see this spectacular Audemars Piguet Jules Audemars 30th Anniversary Perpetual Calendar, one of only 90 made, and purchase it on our website.